Hey everyone, I'm Katie.
And I'm Heather.
You're watching the Queen of Hops channel. And we are on a Pax Verum kick. We went to the brewery and absolutely loved it. And today we're trying Heather's favorite of the dark beers. So they had dark beers, they had IPAs, they had light beers. They really had the gamut. I was so impressed. I don't know why, but I always assumed that like a smaller brewery like that may only have a handful of beers.
That's
like
true.
6.
I could see that, yeah.
And so then I'm like really debating in my flight, like, ooh, which ones do I want? They had
a lot.
18 beers on tap.
Yeah. And now that you say that, I didn't look when I went back there to the restroom. I didn't look to see, because they had to have had a lot of different.
Oh, where they were like,
what do you call it, the big distillery things
Yeah.
or whatever. They would have had to have
like
a lot of them. Now that I say that, unless they do it and it kind of like the seasonal,
Right.
And then it's done once they do one batch and then go to the net. Maybe that's what they do.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
There's
So
a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, and you can get the beer there. You can get it in cans. You can get it in growlers. You can also get it at Meijer. So it's not at all. I asked him because I'm like, where can I get this if I wanted to go to the store? And he said, right now, because they're still, working on increasing their production, you can get it at Meijer. So I'm really anxious to go to Meijer and see what they have. But I absolutely was so impressed with their IPAs. And I got one of their seasonal IPAs because I wanted Kara to try it. Because then I figured we go back and we could try any of the other ones.
I want to go back and try some of the IPAs because I mainly stuck with the dark this time, except for that. There was one that was kind of cidery, and I can't remember what it was called, but it was kind of bitey. It was a little almost sour.
I remember you trying that. I think
did.
it was. I think it was like a sour though. Did they say it was a cider?
Well, he said something about. He described it. It sounded like it would be like a margarita-y type. So I thought it would be a little smoother, but it was kind of sour. And I was like, ooh, okay.
That's funny because we went to Upland. When we went to Upland, I tried it. He got this one sour beer, and he thought it would have like a ton of lime in it.
Yeah.
And it did. And it was like,
yeah.
I personally, I can't imagine drinking a lot of that. Like I always think when I pour a beer, could I have a whole glass of this?
Yes.
Because it's different when you're doing like the tastings versus the whole beer, right?
Right. And I will say there are times it takes me 2 sips to really think in my mind what I want anymore. Like, what I want.
Right.
Sometimes the first one you're like, well, that's pretty good. And then by the second time you're going,
maybe
probably
not.
Something this size is all I need. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, exactly. And that's why I love doing the tastings and the flights because it gives you enough sips for you to make the determination of what's your initial impression. And then is this, like you said, like something that you would want to continually drink?
Right.
And then if you love it, then you're like, man, now I need a glass of that.
Yes, I really like that. I taste a lot of the coconut. So this
I
one
do too.
Actually is milk stout with coconut. So I feel like I taste more of the coconut in this than I did on
Yeah, and it may just be the way, like the can
because I was
flavor.
going back and forth through different beers. Maybe that's what also did it. But I like it more actually now.
I know it is. It's really good. So one of the things that we talked about when we were there is when you go and you drink a flight, how do you drink it?
Oh, yes, we did talk about this. I tend to drink like maybe halfway down in the first one, and then do I like it? Do I want to go back to that one? Then I go to the next one, I'll drink it about halfway down. But I know you do it the opposite where you drink the whole thing.
I drink the whole flight, and then I move on to the next one. And I specifically drink it by IBU. So whatever has the least bitter, I start with that first. And then I work to more bitter because what I find is if I try to bounce back and forth between bitterness, especially with your IPAs, I don't get a full sense of like the flavor if I go from a high IBU to a low. So
because you've already shocked your taste buds a little bit.
Exactly.
I get
so
that.
I try to also make sure, I love that they have the flights and they label them, But then I also appreciate on the board when it has like the IBUs. So then that way I can make a note and say, okay, this is the order that I want to try these because I want to make sure from like a taste bud standpoint. And then that's when the pretzels come in handy.
Yes.
So can we talk about that?
I kept trying to clear my taste buds.
So they don't have like a huge menu. They're putting in a pizza place next door, but they did have pretzels with beer cheese. I love the beer cheese. Whoever makes the
pretzel
beer
and
cheese,
beer cheese were amazing. Actually,
so good, good. So again, not a huge like. Don't go there to eat, but they're gonna put in a pizza place next door, and you can bring that over. And they definitely have like some appetizer type stuff that they can heat up for you real quick.
And I think he said you can bring stuff in too.
Yeah.
I think somebody else had brought some snacks and things like that at that big table that was there. So I think you can bring some things in.
Yeah.
I wouldn't walk in with the whole lasagna or anything.
All right, we're gonna have a family dinner.
But if you wanted to bring your own chips or something of that nature, I'm sure they probably wouldn't care.
Yeah.
So.
It was a super cool brewery. Definitely recommend checking it out. Love the can, the artwork of all of their cans. Was super impressed with the designer that creates this. This particular beer, it is 6.7% alcohol by volume and 34 IBU. So it has a little bit of hop to it, but not too much. And like you said, I really taste the coconut a lot more than when we tasted it at the brewery.
I wonder if it's something about it being stored for, I don't know.
Maybe.
Well, it's different. But I really like it.
I am not a brewer per se. I'm just a beer taster.
Yeah.
And to me, I'm not somebody that normally likes a stout. I really like this one.
I do too. I'm glad that you do.
I know. All right, so there you have it. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask, and we hope you have a great day.
Bye.
Cheers.
Oh, shoot. And I really liked it. Was that hot tickler?
No. Keller Hayes.
Keller Hayes. That's what it was. I really liked that one.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
It's like, it was pretty refreshing. Without being too hoppy. Yeah.
I wonder what the IBU is on that.
I better down this.
Better. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, here we go.